Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Padmini Vedula, mother of two super children, wife to a kind-hearted Samaritan, an author, speaker, and a corporate professional turned entrepreneur. For me, Atmanirbharta is just not a glamorous word. In fact, it is a way of life that stems out of being frugal and process-driven. Here is my story. I come from a middle class family in South India where necessities always preceded over wishes, and not just that, modest means always felt like a luxury. In fact, frugality was never been a habit, it has always been a way of life. As a youngster, I remember my mother would squeeze out even the last drop out of the milk packet before pouring into the utensil. My father would give me and my sister cut pencils while going to the school. And not just that, all the unused papers in the old notebooks were spiraled to become new books the next year. At that point of time, every purchase was a calculation. Every decision was a lesson in resourcefulness. Probably I picked up my first lessons of Atmanirbharta from there. I never realized that this simple habit of daily being frugal will become such an important element of my personality. Even today, say for example, I use the wastewater from my RO to water the small garden that I have. And not just that, at office also I use several frugal means like going digital, using every resource optimally, and not just that, at times negotiating smarter, all for the love of maximizing my efficiency. For the last several years, I have been getting up at 4:30 a.m. every morning, except for Sundays where I pamper myself with an extra 30 minutes. The first hour of the day is my holy hour, divided into three blocks of 20 minutes of each: 20 minutes of reading and writing, 20 minutes of workout, and the last 20 minutes I reserve for deep reflections. And dear friends, during this reflections time, every day I ask myself one simple yet profound question. That is, how can I be better than yesterday? And in fact, this simple commitment over the last years, so many years I must say, has become a part of my mindset now, which helps me to propel further progress ahead. And I'm like a seed. The harder you bury, the stronger I rise. And I take pride in saying that for me, Atmanirbharta steps from the fact of being process driven. Many people feel that being disciplined is being restrictive, but I must say it is what which has been giving me the required amount of freedom to create, to think, and to grow. In the last several years, I had the opportunity to meet, interact, and also learn from several inspiring people from various walks of life, from various domains. And these deep conversations had taught me one thing in life, that is, excellence lies in being systematized, yet extremely flexible in outcomes. Well, as a woman, juggling between the demands of both home and office has never been a choice. It has always been a dire necessity. And juggling like this for the last 20 years has taught me another important truth of life to me. That is, the secret of success lies in maximization, and maximization of time, effort, and energy. During COVID, I must actually say that it was a blessing in disguise. I got some ample time for myself to deeply reflect, to see inside me. And then I realized that all the achievements I had till date, in fact, then and even now, is a result of certain patterns in my life. And those patterns had actually emerged from some core routines that I had been following early on in my life. And today I'm very happy standing in front of you, going to distill those four important routines that helped me to not only progress really well on my professional front, but also had given incredible results in my personal life too. So let's get started. Before I go to bed every night, I make it a point to ensure that my kitchen counter is absolutely clean and all the essentials for the next day are laid out for both me and my kids. And what it actually does is It gives me not only 15 minutes of extra sleep the next morning, but I wake up to an organized, clutter free environment. And such an organized environment is like a blank canvas to me, which immediately boosts up my productivity and my creativity. And now, taking it back to work, I must say, I am absolutely organized. I keep my office clutter free. And not just that, I am deadly organized in terms of keeping my reminders, getting my meetings organized, and my to do list in place. Now, this simple habit has become so contagious back at office that my team members have started liking and they have started following. And the result is not only me, but they have also become extremely and ultra focused and ultra efficient, I must say. So, the first thing that I would like to bring to your thought process is that being organized is not being rigid at all. In fact, it is bringing the discipline, the required amount of discipline that gives you the ultimate freedom to operate the way you want. Let me give you another story from my life. Few years back, while I was in my corporate stint, I had to undergo a very rough phase. I was in a sales profile which required me to travel 18 days a month, long hours, and into the deepest terrains of India. So, as a woman, I had two obvious choices, either flight or fright. I didn't opt both. In fact, what I did is I decided to tide over the entire situation. But as you know, it is easier said than done. It was just not easy. Then I had to really strategize, how do I come over it? Then I had a plan. I had to clearly articulate my needs for support through all my stakeholders at home. And slowly then on, it started falling in place. It created a symphony just like a well orchestrated concert. So while I was traveling, my husband started taking care of things at home. He became the operations manager. My parents and my parents in laws together teamed up to take care of my kids. And not just that, back at office, my team members helped me in filling up for me when there were important meetings or assignments to take care. So now that I'm an entrepreneur myself, I still do the same back at work. I ensure that I have created an ecosystem by articulating my needs very clearly once again, and not just that, by creating a culture of team collaboration. So now that brings me to the second point that I would like to let you know, that success is not about traveling all alone, doing everything all by yourself. In fact, success is about creating an ecosystem around yourself which actually gives you a collective effort and thriving on that collective effort. In fact, collective effort is what does all the magic, isn't it? At times, I wonder when I reflect back in my life, how is that things become so manageable on time? Then I recall what my mentor once told to me. Padmini, success is not always about results. You have to remember three things that drive really good life and the corresponding results. Number one, having clear objectives for yourself. Number two, having brilliant collaboration with people and resources around you. And number three, celebrating small wins. I got so inspired by him that I took it literally as a practice both in my professional and my personal front. So, just as on my professional front, with the help of my team, I go ahead at the beginning of the year, draw my annual operating plans, goal sheets, KPIs, etc. On the personal front, also, I ensure I engage with my family, that is, my husband and my kids. We draw the annual plans, be it in terms of vacation, the new things that they want to do, or the new skills that they want to learn. We draw up a plan. And exactly we follow what my mentor has said. We not only monitor what's happening, we track progress, and we also celebrate wins both on personal and professional front. Now, what is the result? It ensures that all the stakeholders are extremely engaged, motivated, and excited. That exactly is what I always wanted to have in my life. So, the third thing that I would like you to draw your attention to it is success is not about results alone. Success is a journey, and we should relish each of our minute out there. And most important thing one must remember is defining what success means on both personal and professional front is very important. That will actually drive the results that you would want to have in your life. And now, the last one that I would like to bring to you is again based on a very, very important and a personal story, very close to my heart. Few months back, to be precise, around 15 to 16 months back, I pivoted out of my 20 plus years of illustrious corporate career, and I went on to start an equally adrenaline fueled entrepreneurial pursuit of being a business consultant. And what came handy to me at that point of time was my constant commitment to learning since early on in my career. And I must say, what it has done to me is, while I was in my corporate career, I had exposure to only 3 to 4 types of businesses that I had worked along. However, being a consultant, a business consultant, it has given me exposure to around 10 to 15 new domains in the last 15 months already. And my constant streak of keeping on learning constantly every day has helped me to ace my conversations with my customers all the time, and that has become a winning streak for me, a winning formula rather. And now, taking it back to my home front, I continue that commitment, whether learning about effective parenting, learning about financial planning, or be it personal development, learning about manifestation techniques, or many more. I keep that on. So, the last thing that I would want to draw your attention is, we have to remember that skilling, upskilling are no longer career tools, they are life tools. So, the sooner we understand this, the faster we move ahead in our life. So, dear friends, before I sum up my talk, here is my big idea. There is no need to juggle between home and office like a circus act. The best thing to do here is to blend the best practices of both the worlds so that you have massive and incredible results on both the fronts. And that is Atmanirbharta, not just as a concept, but as a way of life. And I'm a living proof to it. If I can do it, so can you. So before I wrap up, I would like to leave you all with one lingering thought. That is, Atmanirbharta is not about independence alone. It is about designing a life where success is not a struggle, but a system, because that is a life worth living, dear friends. Thank you so much.